Star Wars fans, Star Wars Celebration has had an insane amount of announcements, and the weekend's not even over yet, but one of the craziest ones is this brand new TV show starring Jude Law called The Skeleton Crew. So what is this show about? Who's going to be in it other than Jude Law? Who's directing it? What's going on with the show at all? When does it even take place in the Star Wars canon? Let's get right into all of it right now. What's up guys, Mike, guy I love Star Wars here. Today we're talking about The Skeleton Crew. So this is a brand new announcement at Star Wars Celebration this weekend, and it's going to be starring Jude Law like I said. So who's the director? Why is it called The Skeleton Crew? What is the plot of this show? When does it take place in Star Wars canon? We're going to answer so many questions right now, but starting with who is the director. So this is a big deal. The director of the TV show, Disney Plus Star Wars TV show Skeleton Crew, is going to be Jon Watts. So if you don't know who Jon Watts is, he directed the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. That means Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and the one that just made billions and billions of dollars, Spider-Man No Way Home. So not only is this a big deal because he's a great director and he directed 3 amazing Spider-Man movies, but he was supposed to do Marvel's Fantastic Four movie and he stepped down to do Star Wars. Now this is a big deal for Star Wars because Star Wars has been losing creatives to Marvel or to other places because they haven't been easy to work with, as people have said in the past. They would rather work with Kevin Feige over at Marvel than Kathleen Kennedy over at Star Wars. It is no secret to the fans, it's no secret to all these people, that Kathleen doesn't seem to be the person you want to work with. Now, I have nothing against Kathleen Kennedy. I think she's doing the best she can do with Star Wars. The sequel trilogy obviously was its own thing, but look at what she's given us. She's given us Jon and Dave together, giving us The Mandalorian, giving us the Book of Boba Fett, and now the Kenobi show. We just got the first 2 episodes of that. I won't spoil anything, but they were amazing. So the fact that Jon Watts wants to come to Star Wars rather than do the Fantastic Four movie, which is going to be another billion-dollar-plus movie for the MCU, this is great news for Star Wars. So why is this show called The Skeleton Crew? I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I have no idea. If you look at the title itself, when they showed it at Celebration, it said Skeleton Crew, but it was all like rusty and like whatever. It was a lot like the Rebels, the animated show Rebels. If you look at the 2 side by side, they look pretty similar. I mean, just the rust and the whatever, it gives the same vibe. And we know Rebels is just a group of rebels that go around saving the galaxy, but they're living in the underground of Star Wars. Everything's all rusty, everything they have is rusty, all their ships are rusty. It's just the underground of Star Wars, the underworld, as it were. And that might be why it's called Skeleton Crew. Honestly, if I was giving a nickname to the Rebels cast, I would give them the Skeleton Crew. It fits them pretty well. So I don't know what they're going to do with the Skeleton Crew name, why it's called that. I'm sure this group of heroes or villains, whatever it's going to be, is going to be known as the Skeleton Crew, probably across the galaxy. And that brings us to what is the plot of this show. Like I just said, I don't even know if the main characters are going to be good or evil. We don't know if Jude Law is a good guy or a bad guy. But what we do know is that Jude Law is going to be a star of the show and that there are going to be 10 to 12-year-olds, at least 4 of them, in a Stranger Things / Goonies type of show. So although Jude Law is going to be one of the main characters, it's going to focus around these young children. And at first I'm like, child actors are never a good idea. You get it right once in a while. If you look at Stranger Things, that is an anomaly. Those kids are unbelievable, but it's really hard to find that. And then I was like, wait a second. Have you seen the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? Slight spoiler, but Leia Organa is in it. As a 10-year-old Leia, she is unbelievable. The actress is perfect. She is exactly like Leia Organa, and it is just perfect. So it gives me hope that this Skeleton Crew show is going to be just like that, just like Stranger Things, where they get the right group of kids that are great actors and can portray these roles very well. And I think they're going to knock it out of the park. I think this is going to be their next big show. But they do have a lot to live up to. You have the Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming out right now that is already off to a great start. You have the Andor show coming later. Then you have the Mandalorian next year and the Ahsoka show next year. And then you're going to have right after that the Skeleton Crew. So it has to live up to all the hype that is behind the Mandalorian, that is behind the Ahsoka show. But I think it can do it. I think it definitely can do it, especially if they get the right cast. And Jude Law is a huge actor. If you don't know who Jude Law is, because I've showed his face a million times, and you're like, who is that guy? He is a main character in Captain Marvel. If you haven't seen that, he is one of the characters in that, but he's also Professor Dumbledore, young Professor Dumbledore in the new Fantastic Beasts movies. And he's also Watson in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies. If you haven't watched those two movies, they are very underrated. Robert Downey Jr. is a great Sherlock Holmes, and Jude Law is a great Watson. Last but certainly not least is, when does this take place in Star Wars canon? Now that's a great question, because when there was rumors a couple of months ago that Jon Watts was getting his own TV show, the rumors were that it's going to be a High Republic show. So now, come to find out that it's the Skeleton Crew show, we found out that it also takes place in the Mandalorian Timeline. If you don't know what the Mandalorian Timeline is, it goes from episode 6 to episode 7. There's a huge 30-year gap in there, give or take a few years, and it starts with the Mandalorian Season 1 and goes in chronological yearly order in the galaxy to Mandalorian Season 2, and then the Book of Boba Fett, and now it's going to be Mandalorian Season 3, and then Ahsoka show, and then the Skeleton Crew. So there's no jumping back and forth, unless it's flashbacks, obviously, but there's no jumping back and forth. It's all going to be one straight line through to The Force Awakens. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for the Skeleton Crew? Do you like Jude Law? Do you like the fact that they're going to bring in a bunch of child actors, 10 to 12-year-olds, a lot like Stranger Things / Goonies? What do you think? What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Plenty of videos, so many announcements through Star Wars Celebration. Of course, Jedi Survivors, which is Jedi Fallen Order sequel, and you have so many other announcements, shows, even trailers that weren't released to the public that were released to people at Star Wars Celebration that we have breakdowns for because descriptions got leaked, like the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer and the Ahsoka trailer. There's so many announcements, so I'm going to be making videos on all of it, so don't miss out on any of it by hitting subscribe and that bell so you get notified when I post the videos. And may the Force be with you, always.